Hello and welcome to the 100th episode of the Father and Son Pastime Podcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Kevin.
That's my dad. Dad, I don't have anything special planned for the 100th episode because we're grinders and all that stuff.
We got Ric Flair upstairs.
No, I'm just kidding! Woo! You want to do one?
Sure.
There you go. Woo! We did 100 episodes, baby!
Mine worked. You did it.
No, mine worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Shot that way. Yours shot this way.
Okay, cool.
We got a camera evidence to prove it. So I thought that was fun, and who doesn't like sulfur as they do a podcast? So we're already off the rails here. We needed a little energy, Dad. This was our 6th episode of the day.
Where did you get those?
I have things. I pulled them out of my pocket. That's all you need to know, okay?
I got a sandwich.
I got a sandwich in the pocket. It's all good. We're going to talk about the NL West, Dad, on our 100th episode. Again, my claim to fame of all this year, I'm just getting all the sulfur out, is that the West is the best. We saw the Dodgers and the Padres have a fun race in 2022. Mm-hmm. We saw the Mariners and the Astros have a great playoff run, and the Mariners really had a great resurgence. Mm-hmm. They hosted a playoff game. I think San Francisco also has a huge leaps and bounds this year under Gabe Kapler. And the Diamondbacks make a little bit of a move north as well, kind of much like the Angels and the Rangers. Colorado's still dead last. I don't like the Rockies. But I really like the West, NL, and AL, and they're going to be my two divisions to watch specifically this year. What team would you like to start on first?
Let's talk about the Dodgers, and they have to be a little disappointed.
Yes, I almost was going to wear my Mookie Betts shirt, but I just said we've been running NL after NL, so I just kept my Pirate shirt on. The Dodgers are a little disappointed. I mean, the most amount of wins in baseball, best team.
Look at that run differential.
Highest run differential in baseball, second only to the Astros, who won it.
Yeah.
That's been the Dodgers' MO for the better part of a decade. Is dominating the season,
and
getting to the playoffs,
and
lose to the Braves or lose to the Padres.
And you got to ask yourself why. You know? Is it they put all their energy into the regular season, come playoffs, they're a little tired, a little fatigued? I just don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
I think they would say it's only a 3-game series. It's only a 5-game series.
Well, they got the pitching staff to...
I agree, but I'm letting you know what Dodgers fans and Yankee fans sometimes say. They blame the series, and I always think, make it a one-inning game. Best team will always win. No, I really do believe that.
Ball.
Yeah.
2 innings.
One pitch, whoever hits the ball farther wins. Home run derby. Best team will always win. The Dodgers have the most amount of exits facing a team this offseason.
Huge.
They took up a true half a page of a notebook. I'm counting Walker Buehler in this because he will be out all year with Tommy John. I'm still counting Trevor Bauer in this.
Oh, my.
Because question mark.
He's not coming back.
Probably not, but he's still in the payroll.
Yeah. Big payroll.
Yes. And they could be, we won't get into it. They lost by their choosing Cody Bellinger. David Price retired. Trey Turner and Justin Turner are free agents. Denny Duffy, Jimmy Nelson. Kershaw, we're letting him resign. I know at this podcast he is not finalized. It's just agreed to terms. But hopefully Kershaw's back. Kimbrel's gone. Joey Gallo's gone. Andrew Heaney's probably gone. Tyler Anderson has joined the opposite LA team. Mm-hmm. Kevin Pillar, Tommy Canley, and Chris Martin. All of these people have found different places already.
Or going to find different
places. Sorry, yes. They're losses most likely of the offseason. Hole at shortstop. Max Muncy could play third base if he had to, but probably Hole at third base. Hole in center field, Hole in left field, holes in the bullpen, holes in the starting rotation, more issues than I think they were willing and ready to handle. Dad, what do you think of the Dodgers kind of in a panic?
They're in a flux. I think, right now, I mean, there was whispers that, they were not gaga about the manager, because, everything always points to somebody. And as they falter in the playoffs, are they mismanaged and all that stuff? The chemistry, the ball team wasn't, super. It just doesn't make any sense. A team that talented has not got to the World Series with the talent they have. So I think people in LA are saying, we need to get a team, and maybe we don't go superstars. Maybe we get some, blue collar guys that like to grind and everything else, and get, to the promised land, and all that stuff. But the pitching staff and everything they sailed through the year. Again, postseason's not their friend. It's going to be a really unique offseason for them. I'm sure they'll probably land one of the top 4 shortstops to replace Turner and all that stuff. And we'll go from there.
Or Turner. They could keep him.
Yeah, well, I think he's gone. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Okay.
But we'll see. Right now, again, they have a lot of money, and they like to spend it.
Yeah.
They're rumored in the Judge talks. So
let's move Mookie Betts to second base, even though he's won a Gold Glove at right field.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? But right now, they're on shaky ground.
It is weird to hear them non-tender people based off money, to think that a former MVP isn't worth it. So we'd rather have to compete with 29 other teams if we're trying to re-sign him or just giving up on him regardless.
Or trying to give him a more inexpensive contract.
Yeah, why not trade him? I mean, I
know.
When I see these big budget teams kind of pinching pennies, it alerts me that, okay, well, how much money they're going to spend in this offseason? They have so much money linked in Betts and Freeman and Will Smith and Kershaw that's like, okay, there's other people on this team,
Yeah, but years ago, they could care less about the luxury tax. They went over it repeatedly just to get the best team they could. So
they're already over the luxury tax. I mean,
right.
Chris Taylor could be a DH. He could be a left fielder. Could he be a second baseman? And Gavin Lux, you learn shortstop. Probably not. They just have a lot of money in different places right now. I mean, May, Urias, and Gonsolin are due a payday soon, too.
Gonsolin had a great year.
Yes, I don't like that he liked cats. I don't like that he's called Catterday. I don't like that he put a little whisker on his cleats for each win. He got very weird. So he's a different dude.
He's in L.A., though.
He's an L.A. guy. I mean, he blends in. I would not fly in Baltimore. I don't know how to be more direct. Or Philly, for that matter.
Or Chicago.
No, or Boston.
Yeah.
Or pretty much any other city.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have a lot of questions. I think some teams, specifically San Francisco, will use the opening
opportunity
to use it as an opportunity to drive and try to take wins away from the 111 win Dodgers. They will not win more than 111 games in 2023. I will make that bet now. Will they still win a lot of games? Yeah. Will they still be a playoff team? Yeah. I just don't know what it looks like and who they will get. I hope actually there is it's kind of Freudian slip. I hope that there are returns with both Turners, Trey Turner and Justin Turner.
A turnover.
Hopefully there's not a turnover, but there's a lot of good puns on that. The Dodgers have a lot of questions. I think they should stay far away from Aaron Judge for what it's worth.
Yes.
And focus on plugging some holes and honestly getting some pitching because they have a great 1-2-3, obviously making sense that Kershaw resigns officially. But Kershaw, Urias, Gonsolin, then a returning May from an injury. They're used to better rotations than that.
Yeah.
Dad, who would you like to talk about next?
Let's talk about the Padres. So,
anyone getting a haircut? I know a guy.
The GM of the Padres is not afraid to make a move. It's funny. They really made one of the biggest trades in baseball at the trading deadline, thinking they would catapult that team.
They went pretty far.
They did.
The NLCS.
They did. I agree. I like the way they have a solid pitching staff along the way. Again, they got to find, some kind of, I don't know, you mentioned it before, they got to find out who's their infield, where is everybody's going to play. Machado had a good year. They probably still need a little, bench players and all that stuff. But on the surface, the Padres are a very strong team. Will it all, get together and go? They got a little opening at first base, DH. So we'll see what happens. But in my opinion, the Padres are a playoff team. I don't know how far they'll go, but they're an exciting team to watch. And come trading deadline, if they're weak in anything, trade is made.
I think one of the funniest things that I literally just learned that the drug user Fernando Tatis gets reinstated on 4/20. His legit return date is April 20th.
That's funny.
It's baseball writes itself, man. Humor, comedy writes itself. So I mean, that's only a couple weeks, 3 or so weeks of the season there without him. What shape he'll be in? Will he be ready for MLB pitching?
Well, think about the injuries too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, what version? I mean, when does 100% Fernando Tatis come back, if anything? Because he'll have boos and haters, and he'll be thrown at. I mean, there's going to be this massive uphill thing. I mean, it took. I mean, Altuve and Bregman and Correa got booed and still get booed 5 years after the fact.
Yeah,
he is going to face a hellacial return in every city. I mean, in L.A., can you imagine the sounds in L.A.? Can you imagine the sounds in San Francisco?
Yeah.
When they play Philly?
Oh.
Like,
or the Mets? Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some really... I mean, Chicago Cubs fans. I mean, there's going to be ridicule waiting for him wherever he goes. And how he handles that at 22, 23 years old, I wouldn't handle it well.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how that happens. Manny Machado in the MVP voting I'm not sure for the first time in his career, but at least that high up for the first time in his career. Juan Soto and Josh Bell, when they came over to San Diego, weren't great. I don't see a reunion with Josh Bell. I think it makes sense, though, because they need a first baseman after getting rid of Hosmer, getting rid of Voit, and getting rid of Will Myers. That they needed someone to play first, but Josh Bell didn't hit great there. Juan Soto really didn't have a good year overall, like at least not by his standards.
Right.
Trent Grisham had a great playoff.
Yeah.
So that'll be a cool
Key
name.
home runs.
Pitching staff is pretty solid. Could they add someone if Ryan Weathers gets traded, or if they, I still think there's a trade for a catcher like a Camposano and a Ryan Weathers that someone could trade. Oh, cool. I'm Oakland and I need this piece, and I'll take this. I'll take this risk. They have Hader. They have a pretty good bullpen. They made a lot of moves early to lock down and keep their people that they wanted, like Suarez and Nick Martinez. So I don't see them re-signing Mike Clevenger, Sean Manaea, Will Myers, Jurickson Profar, Brandon Drury. We'll see on Josh Bell. A lot of holes, a lot of questions. Will they be an 89-90 win team? Really depends on what other people do in the division, which leads us to what team?
Let's go San Fran.
I am so excited.
I think San Fran is going to be one of the teams that really, like you mentioned before, really takes advantage of this opportunity that they have to improve. I know they're not happy finishing at 500.
Nope.
San Francisco always thinks of themselves as a playoff team. They just didn't have the team this year. I think they'll fortify their team in every way possible. If they're going after Judge, they have money. Because, you got to start at $40 million and then you work your way up.
That's very true.
So I think they're not going to be afraid to spend money. They have one of the best ballparks in Major League Baseball. They get a great fan base. This team could be in the top 3 of active clubs this year in the offseason. I think they'll move up the rankings in their division big time next year. They will not be a 500 team.
I agree. Giants, Baltimore, and Chicago Cubs, not the White Sox, are the 3 teams that I've heard that have money to spend.
Yes.
Who will they spend all that much money? We'll see. I do think they will. I just don't know how much. The Giants seem to actually have the most amount of money out of those 3 teams to spend.
And willing to spend it.
Reason being is I think this year was their wait-and-see year. First year without Buster Posey. What's our identity?
Lost their leader.
They lost their leader. Evan Longoria is off the team. Brandon Crawford's last year of his contract is this year. And then everyone else has really no depth to the organization. There isn't a homegrown talent that people are gaga about. Bart didn't really make an impact on this season. Wade and Yaz are still young. I mean, they're not at their core Giants. Even Logan Webb, who's great, but it's not like a Giant that's going to be with us forever. It's not a big name just yet. I think they should keep him, but I'm just saying they don't have an identity. And when you don't have an identity, you go get one. And I really think they can get several of these big free agents. They took a chance on Carlos Rodon this year. I don't think they're offering any one-year contracts this time.
No. No.
I know Jaka is qualifying. I'm kind of just counting that as its own thing. But I think they're going to make impacts with multi-year contracts in pretty much every aspect of baseball. In the outfield, in the infield, in their pitching staff, both starters and relievers. I expect active. I expect some deals that don't even make sense. And they'll trade away probably either Estrada or Flores just because they're kind of doing, unless one learns third base or one wants to be bench. I just think that there are some fun moves ahead in San Francisco, and I have them linked to so many names. So many names. High hopes.
Yeah, I think, you did that extremely well, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I was ready.
But, the wait and see, phrase that you used was really apparent. They didn't do well. They knew it. It's not, most of the time the Giants are always very much of an in contention. They weren't in contention probably July on. And they knew it. The fan base knew it.
Kind of like Boston.
Correct. Great comparison. So I really, I think they're a fun team to watch. I think they get younger, they get more athletic, and they get more pitching in that order. But I think you're going to see a very fun team on the field.
My note for San Francisco was so much money is coming off in 2024. Why not make 2023 their window to spend?
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of great free agent names in 2024, and everyone says Shohei Ohtani. But until the offseason starts and he's a free agent, he's not a free agent in my mind. He could still get locked up. He could get a long-term deal. Time to act is now with whether it's shortstops, first basemen, outfielders, high-end starters. Grab them now because there's no guarantee that this 2023-2024 free agent class is going to be free agents this time next year.
Yeah.
Dad, D-backs or Colorado?
Go D-backs.
Yay! I have high hopes for the Diamondbacks.
I think they have a good athletic system coming up. They're another one that in the top 15 minor league systems.
Yes.
But, yeah, I think they made some nice trades.
Yeah. They really didn't lose anyone. Ian Kennedy, Zach Davies. That's really the only ones I want to mention.
Zach Davies.
Yeah, exactly. They just traded for Lewis out of Seattle, who was penciled right now to be a DH, which is different. Kyle Lewis,
yeah.
He had a concussion. Is he the same player as a Rookie of the Year? Probably not.
They're going to give him a chance.
They're going to give him a chance. They desperately need a shortstop. No hint there, people at home. Their outfield is littered with talent. They have a lot of guys that can play catcher and outfield, which is a weird thing, like Dalton Varsho.
Yeah.
Christian Walker, I thought was going to be a trade candidate.
At the deadline?
In the deadline, he wasn't, and I think he almost hit 40 home runs for them last year.
Ex-Oriole.
Yeah, and he's 1 year more team control with the Diamondbacks. Zach Gallen is an underrated pitcher. He should be a household name for how well he pitches, but no one knows who he is because he's in the shadow of Madison Bumgarner, yet he's better than Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, high draft choice, too.
Amaro Kelly, they still need to solidify that rotation. They got Joe Mantiply and Mark Melanson in like an 8-9 guy, but they need 6th, 7th, and long relief options too. So Arizona openly doesn't have that much money to spend. I know I've read several pieces of information like that. I think this will be a record-breaking salary year for Arizona. I have them linked to 3 out of the top 50 free agents. That's
great. I hope they do well. Because they're a team that their history have said when they've done well, they've done extremely well, and then they fall in the middle of the pack. But yeah, I think Arizona's going to be fun to watch.
Well, that's all the teams in the MLB.
Yeah.
Colorado is playing their own version of fantasy baseball. But if you want to talk about him, Dad, go ahead. I don't care.
I just want to talk about Chris Bryant. You know
who?
Chris Bryant.
I don't know who that is. Chris Bryant? Yeah. Was he that former superstar that dressed like an idiot in All-Star games?
Did you say Miss Bryant?
Maybe. Miss USA? I mean, he dresses that way at these baseball games.
Never mind. I'll stop there. But anyway, thing about dumb investments, Colorado year in and year out need pitching, but nobody wants to go there because of the elevation. But then they make stupid decisions and give a long-term deal to a player that wasn't, he was an MVP, but since then his stats have gone down. They give him, I think, between a 3 and a 5 year deal, if I'm not mistaken, and he gets hurt probably on a 150 game season. I think he might have played in 30. So that was a huge bust for them. I just don't see them gaining anything in that league. You know, even if Chris Bryant comes back and becomes, you know, their star player, you know, again, he in the quotes after he signed, he goes, "I just want him on a place that I would be happy playing in," and he like Denver and all that stuff. But he knew he was not going to be in the playoffs again. So again, Patrick's right. Colorado is kind of a misfit right now. They don't know what's going on. Not great leadership. You know, they're a last place team again, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a really nice fun for 4 teams in the NL West, and then a team that's, you know, really excited about 420. They're really excited to host, you know, reallocated All-Star games when, you know, MLB cities don't politically cooperate with MLB, so they can just move it to Colorado. No, I mean, I genuinely love their ballpark. I actually had some good conversations with their fans. But they're just a terribly run organization, and I really think any MLB fan could do a better job at their jobs than they do. I don't really care what happens in Colorado. It's a purposefully chosen path that I never link any of the top 50 free agents to Colorado. It's hilarious to me when I see, like, oh, well, you know, Trey Turner is linked to the Cubs, the Phillies, the Braves, the Dodgers, and the Rockies. No, he's not. No, he's not. The only idiot that's willing to sign in Colorado just to have money is Chris Bryant. Never having another World Series ring, but you go have fun out in Rocky Mountain Highs.
And you know,
not playing a full season.
The fan base supports the Rockies a little bit because it is a cool ballpark in downtown Denver and everything. But how long do you have that Wrigley Field philosophy till they turn and not go to the games? So again, you know, that's worked for certain teams. But again, Colorado may not have that fan base for long if they keep having records like they do with 94 losses.
Yeah, I mean, I see year in and year out when your German Marquez is your ace. You know, that's probably bad.
And a bad bobblehead.
You know, I mean, it's bad. I mean, you don't do anything to improve your team. You get trade offers for C.J. Cron and Daniel Barton. You go, no. We're going to lock up a 37-year-old closer for a couple more years, give him an extension, because that makes sense. I know Senzatella has been injured, but let's give him a 5-year extension. Because this really makes sense on how you run organizations. You don't take great trade offers for Troy Tulowitzki or Nolan Arenado or Trevor Story. You just go, you know what? Just become a free agent. We're not even going to issue you a qualifying offer because we don't want to have any memory of you in Colorado. Let's just be losers. And that's who they are. They're a 5th-place team, and they will always be a 5th-place team under their current philosophy. That I would go Dodgers. I have so much hope. Giants, Padres, Diamondbacks.
I'm with you.
And then that 5th team.
I'm with you. I think the Giants will make a leap.
Yeah.
They'll make a giant leap.
I can't see my face. You're just listening. I look like Harry Carey after 6 beers. Dad, that concludes our 100th episode. It was a lot of hope for the Giants, the Diamondbacks, criticism towards the Padres, confusion at the Dodgers, and anger at the Rockies.
Nice summation.
Thank you. Do you have any other comments?
No, I just think the baseball's changing all the time. They're trying to get new rule changes and everything else. They're, a couple of years from now or even next year, they're going to have automatic strike zone. The clock is coming in and all that stuff. Hopefully people will still, go to games and, go see their favorite teams and all that stuff. But the game is, getting modernized, for lack of a better word. So I hope people, realize that. We'll see what the players think of the changes as well, and it will be still as much fun to go to game, with all the changes going forward. But yeah, baseball is changing in very slight tweaks.
Baseball's still fun, and we're about to prove it. We are going to do our top 50 free agent predictions, the crux of who we are. There'll be money on the line, hopefully. We normally do like the top 10 this year. We can still do top 10 if you want to. And then we do the diving of 11 to 50. We'll get into that more in our next podcast. But stay tuned. If you didn't watch the other offseason outlooks, we did the NL Central, NL East, AL West, AL Central, AL East. So please, if you have any fun teams or that's your team, check those individual podcasts out.
Leave them with the Billy Bean quote about baseball. How can you not be
romantic about baseball?
That's what we'll leave you with.
Some of my predictions will be a little romantic.
Got my tissues out as we speak.
I hope I don't make you cry.